One of my favorite, one of my favorite moments of the month, shot of reality. And you know who's back. Kailen
Up,
Williams.
kids.
She's back to help us sort through the issues of the various audience members. And we are going to do it in the most informative, entertaining, and obviously fun manner while legitimately helping you out. So having said all of that, Kailen Williams, welcome back to the show. How are we doing, girl?
What's up, Buttercup? My personal life's a shit show. Big promotion at work. How about you?
Oh my goodness. Well, for me, you know, just we have different issues, what's going on in life now, but you know, just growing the show, looking for my next opportunity, and having fun in a post-pandemic world, and just appreciating every single day. You know, so just having some fun with that. Anything else fun going on in your life, Kailen? Getting ready for the post-pandemic world?
Yes and no. Currently enjoying the fact that I have an IUD and I'm vaccinated, but as much as
right, shouts to science.
My boy science. Have like a couple dates lined up, nothing like terribly like serious. It's fucked a medical examiner. So I have technically.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look, he was 6'4", nerdy, and could choke me properly. And like we met at the start of the pandemic last year. So it's like I like, please, it was a long time coming, no pun intended.
See the power of staying in touch.
Exactly. Like, and we weren't like talking every day. We just like occasionally send each other Snapchats and everything. So it pays off. It's okay. Being persistent, but not creepy. That's the key here, gentlemen. And
first ladies, advice exactly. Of this episode.
Yeah. And let's think what else. Other shenanigans that it's a little bit too not safe for work to get into.
Right, we're gonna have some fun. But first, let's help our loyal listeners, and then we'll get back into the banter.
All right, so we have Mikey asking, what's a place I should take a girl on a first date? Where are the best places to take a first date?
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this first. Here's what I think. Well, I feel, in my opinion, especially in a first date, now that we are vaccinated, most people, I should say, not everybody, but in a vaccinated world, and people are safe, and, you know, and then, you know, whatever leads to that after. In my opinion, I think you should go slow. I think you don't necessarily need to go out for a full dinner, especially if you're treating. I think, honestly, either a cup of coffee. My motto is coffee or milkshakes. Like, it's really nice and smooth. One thing I don't suggest is don't do the walk date. Like, go to a park and walk around. You need the first interaction to be together. You need to look each other in the eye. You need to have Cupid come together and decide if you're going to be compatible or not. So whatever it is, I suggest it's one-on-one in a nice public place to establish that connection and trust. And it should be, you know, small, like I said, milkshakes, coffee. I'm actually think drinks should be after the fact, because this is the getting to know part. And like, I've known guys, and this happened to myself, that guys are used for meals, and we definitely don't want to do that. And I want to avoid that. And if you are going to be used, you're better off getting used for a $7 milkshake than, you know, a $40 dinner. So I think coffee and milkshake, that's my motto, and something small. And I would say, if you can, FaceTime your partner right before to establish that connection. I've done that. I've been the times I've done that's been a huge success. You already get the awkward first date bugs out of the way. So I say, do the short, you know, the coffee milkshake, and then even a slice of pizza, and then go with the, you know, FaceTime right before, and then everybody's in a fun, comfortable place. Let's hear your thoughts on this, Kailen. What do you think?
Well, as always, I think it depends on like the situation, like your relationship with the other person. Even though like it's just a new one that's just building and just starting. If it's, say, like I'm meeting with a guy and like, making jokes or whatever, and like, let's meet up. Like, for example, I was talking to a guy on Tinder about how I fucking hate doing laundry sometimes. And he said, no, I entirely agree, whatever. And I said, I'd rather do I joked and I told him that, hey, you do my meal prep for me, I'll do your laundry for you. And he's like, fucking deal. And I told him like, I mean, I think it's a really good trade because you get to come over, cook, play with dogs, and get your laundry done, like fair trade. And it's like first date. And it's like, because my go-to, honestly, is do you want to watch if it's a guy who's into hockey or baseball, like, do you want to watch the game? Pizza, beers. Like, that's like the best like one-on-one date, because right. I do agree with you. Like, you need that face-to-face time, and having to have that in a situation where a lot of people did it pre-pandemic in bars, like going out and everything, but having it in a more, I want to say, intimate setting is better, but a less noisy situation, because then you can actually concentrate on the person, read their body language, so on and so forth. So I like your idea of like the milkshake. It's cute. I will say that. And I don't mean that in like a patronizing way. I remember recently, like there was some like Instagram influencer who was on TikTok and who's like, oh yeah, like if a guy wants to go on like a coffee date or a walk date, I'm not going to go with them. And I'm like,
that's why they're a TikToker who has stupid money that probably their parents helped them get that chance to make that equipment.
What do you mean help? Like maybe, like no, they definitely had mom and daddy's money.
Exactly.
Like, come on, like bitch, you don't know what you're talking about.
She doesn't.
So it depends on the person, because I've told friends like, oh, go out like mini golfing, like something fun, because you don't want to do the dinner and movie date, not just because of your comment about guys being used for meals, because that's unfortunately something that does happen. If you can't talk during a movie, like what's the point? Like, I'd rather like maybe like third or fourth date.
Yeah, that's a third or fourth date.
Okay, look, my ex and I would like constantly do movies with each other during Halloween. This is the one that I told you that. So I'm a dumbass. Don't do what I do, kids. I booty called my ex at like 1 a.m. a few days ago, and I flat out told, because we haven't slept together in like I don't even know how long, and I flat out told him if the sex was bad that I was just gonna delete him out of my life again. But I give no fucks. Like, he burned me, and look,
fair enough. No, fair enough what you're saying.
When you burn somebody emotionally, you don't put up with bullshit. But it's during movies or whatever, like it was nice to just like sit, chill, relax, because like a lot of people just want that silence that Mia mentions in Pulp Fiction, where you just want that comfortable silence with somebody. Just like truly what you want. So,
and that's how you know it's a done deal, even with friendships too. The comfortable silence. Like I said, someone had that meme that's gone viral. Hey, you want to hang out and nap? That's what you need.
I've done that with my best friend. I've done that with other friends. I'm just like, nothing sexual, just share a bed, just pass the fuck out. And it's some of the most satisfying sleep I've ever had. But to like truly answer the question, it depends on the girl and what you two are into and everything. But something that's more intimate and like quiet, where you can actually talk with somebody, because in that way you get to know them, and if you want to push it to the second date or not. So
exactly, and make it fun, and it's gonna go easy. It's gonna
make it fun, make it memorable.
Exactly. So, what was sweet time? What was the last movie you went with on a date? Do you remember the last one?
God,
mine was Uncut Gems.
Venom.
Venom. Yeah, they're both very dark movies, but at least there's some hope with that. You seen Uncut Gems?
Oh yeah, like Adam Sandler was a fucking gold. Like he, no pun intended, but he was the gem in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Academy just didn't want to recognize him.
The Academy doesn't want to recognize the influence that Netflix has on the media industry.
Yeah, they have no choice.
TV or films.
That's exactly. That's definitely a debate, a talk for another day. But I definitely agree with you. They need to embrace now where people see their movies, and like, that's an easier option.
Put some respect on my name. All right, so we have Jack Black Fun asking, do guys like, or excuse me, Mr. Jack Black Fun, do girls like it when guys send smiley faces? Again, it depends on the woman, because I'm the type that I read the situation. If the guy's sending emojis, I'll use them. Or sometimes if a guy doesn't use them, I won't use them. So just if they use them, use them. Like, excuse me, don't overuse them, because that's when it gets annoying. It's like, what are we doing here? We're not 12-year-olds in middle school. But you have to balance it. Like, it's don't overuse, but like sending like a winky face or like a smiley face or something like that, like that's fine every once in a while, but you don't want to essentially punctuate your sentences with emojis, because then it just gets annoying and it's like, what are we doing here? But what's your take on that?
I think be yourself. I use the smiley faces, and I've used smiley faces while talking to girls, and establishing connection with girls as well. And most of the time, or a good amount of the time, you can figure out if it's most of the time or good amount of the time. But when I have done it, the conversation still is going, and I'm somebody who make the effort and like literally type out the smiley face too. And
what do you mean type out? As in like go to your keyboard and pick it out?
Yeah, literally. Like I'll send you the chat. I'd literally do this as for the people who can't see. I literally just type the actual smiley face, the semicolon, and what I call the smile. And that's what I do. And I think, again, a girl's
you're using the old school emoji, not the new school
emoji. Yeah, exactly. So basically I say, listen, your partner's gonna like you for who you are. I don't think they'll be like, well, he, she, or they are using a smiley face, so you know what? Fuck them. I'm not gonna talk to them anymore. If there really is someone that shallow, they're doing you a favor. So be yourself. Don't worry about smiley faces deciding your fate in love. If they like you, they will mind you. They won't mind what you type. Maybe they'll appreciate the extra effort.
So now we have Glover Greer asking a very important question.
Glover Greer?
Yeah, Grioher. All right. How do I get a MILF to like me? And maybe if she's interested, we can be friends with benefits.
I'll let you take the reins on that. Tell us, how does one
entice a MILF
to fall for them or be interested in them?
Okay, basically you're going for the cougar. So I think probably the most successful age range is going to be between like 22 and 27, 28, depending on how much like the MILF actually is. But it's just be yourself, like be flirty, like be casual about it, but not like overly forward, because knowing you're probably fucking around with a married woman and you don't want that karma. But if you're willing to fuck with fate, go ahead, do it, fuck around, find out. But you don't want to be overly like clingy or anything, because husband's around, going to see your phone. Like if you're going to cheat, like you have to be discreet about it, and you have to like respect your co-conspirators like relationship and all that fun stuff. But I don't know, like I honestly, I've only fucked one MILF in my life, only one. And she I was 23. Yeah, I was 23.
Ooh.
And we were out drinking like friends and everything at a big bar, like talking, hit it off, and well, I went home with her. So, but it is what it is. Look, if it gets me off, it gets me off. I really don't give a shit. Just saying. But
do you know if she was married or not?
No, she wasn't married, but I think she's like in the middle of divorce, like was separated.
Oh, so she was ready to see what else is out there.
Yeah, she was single and ready to mingle. But to like yet again, like MILFs are a little bit different than women, like women who don't have children, obviously, because they're not mothers. But you have to tackle them a little bit, like not with kids gloves, but you have to realize these are grown-ass women with kids who probably have a husband, who are probably bored and unsatisfied in their marriage, and who honestly needs to go to marriage therapy, but nobody wants to talk about that. So as Matt so eloquently said, just be yourself, be flirty, like not try to hit like all the nails on the head, because you want to leave a little bit of mystery. But
I heard one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt your point, but I was saying one thing I've heard, like, don't mention the age difference. You don't make them think you something like this. Sometimes there are relationships out of the created. But I think if I'm getting what the intention of this person's writing, like maybe more of a fun type of one night stand type thing, maybe friends with benefits,
like casual, yeah.
Like remember the fun, the steam they may want to left off. Again, I'm not an expert in this. I want to say that too, but I would think that somebody in that position, older, it's been with the same. If we're talking for a guy, women in this point, and they were the same partner forever, and they want to explore out and have an experience again with someone younger. Be respectful and enjoy that, and be happy. Like you're the chosen one.
Be thankful. Yeah, exactly. Be thankful for what you get, essentially.
And just be calm with it. It's definitely as fun it is for you. I'm sure it's definitely weird for you as well. Probably heart pounding. And she too was probably like, oh my God, am I actually going to do this? But as some of the great points Kailen has made is always keeping that communication. So be sure to express that as well. I mean, don't make the gaps, but just like, hey, you want to have some fun and stuff like that. Like I had a coworker. I have a coworker at Kohl's, right? I don't want me saying it, but she told me about when she was 40, she took a 22-year-old home, and she's like, basically she said like, you're mine for the night. Like this is just a one experience, and they made that clear. And I mean, she was able to tell us at the Kohl's cashier on a Saturday in the spring, like this is 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was her moment, and understand that's your moment too. And just enjoy this. You're for the night, and be respectful, and then enjoy the experience. Living out a fantasy.
Literally, that's what it is. Just be thankful for your role in the fantasy, and just move on. Don't try and force it.
Don't think too hard.
Yeah, you let your other head do the thinking. So we have Zarlos 359 asking me, how do I get my dog to like me more? This is actually a question I never expected to think, and I say this as I play with my dog's training whistle. It's really, I'd have to know about your dog specifically, but just spend time with them, play with them, just give them treats and everything. It's all about building a relationship, much like how I've always stated in the past. It's obviously your dog can't communicate with you, but if you can understand hey, my dog's doing this, that normally means this. For example, my Rottweiler, I was getting ready for work this morning. She came into me to talk to me, and she's growling at me, trying to get my attention. I'm like, hold on, I'll take you out in a second. And I apparently took too long because she took a shit in my stairwell of my apartment. But she at least knew, hey, don't do it in the apartment, do it outside on the concrete. And I'm like, I can't even be mad at that. She was cognizant enough to not do it there. But it's just spending time. Great. Like my corgi puppy, he will love me more and more. Just if I go throw the ball in the backyard and spend time with them. The Rottweiler, Lana, she's all okay, you want to just chill and watch something on Netflix and just you pet me occasionally. She's such a couch potato. She would probably be a stoner if she was here, to be quite honest with you, because she's just so chill. She rarely even acts up. But just spending time with them, they're kind of like having a kid. You just spend time with them and they're happy, love on them. But all right, moving forward. And honestly, Mr. Zarlos, if you have any other questions, send in and I can help you train or whatever, because I need more information, really, because I love my dogs. But all right,
helping out in all aspects of life.
Exactly. So we have Mike asking, I just got a date. I haven't really dated before. How does a relationship grow? When can we get intimate, and when do we get married? I'm going to let you take this one first.
When it comes to relationships like that, if we really want to go from hanging out to marriage, again, I'm not married. I'm not planning to get married anytime soon. But what I've seen from whether my parents' marriage or other relationships I've seen that actually work, I've heard, if you meet your soulmate, I've heard that. I've also heard of people I hated him or her or them before we got hung out. So, but I think the most important thing, whether it comes initially right away or as you start to get to know each other, you're like,
Mhm.
wow, I might
I like
really
this
fall for
person.
this person.
Yeah.
I think it's different for everybody. Understand that everyone has different times. Some people have their soulmates at high school sweethearts. Some people get married
Mhm.
way later in life. And I would say, from what I've gathered from the relationships I've seen in rom coms, is I would have to say probably if we're talking from hang out to marriage, it's probably gonna be a few years if you want it to stick. And the goal is to marry just once, and we don't want to end in divorce, especially how greedy people are nowadays.
Oh yeah.
So I would say just let the relationship go, enjoy it. You have to have comfortability, have that chance to text them about everything, and also give validation while you grow the relationship. I even think that some of the mistakes I've had with people I've dated in my past is I didn't have enough. There were times where I should have been more like, hey, thinking of you. Hey, let's do this random romantic getaway thing just for the hell of it because I'm so happy to be in your presence. And I've made that mistake while growing and dating that I didn't do that more. And
Mhm.
I don't have regrets in it because I'm sure if it worked out, it would have worked out. But
Yeah.
I think that was probably even my last long term thing. The best thing I think that why the spark died was not giving the validation, remembering what we're here for instead of
Mhm.
just hanging out normally, because then that's how sparks die out. So while you're growing that, always just give them flowers just because. Give them, take them to their favorite restaurant or event and just because the it's a privilege to have someone care about you that much and you care about them. So while you grow that and probably take, in my opinion, years, and that you 100% know I like this person, I like this partner so much that I don't have any reason to hang out with someone else, no one to sleep with someone else. I am
Mhm.
happy for the rest of my life to be with this one person in my life, both mentally and physically. And once you know that, and in my opinion, I think that takes a couple years to satisfy
Yeah.
that, and then just go for it. Ask their hand in marriage at an appropriate age, and that's also affordable.
Ask their father for their blessing if they're still in the life.
Yes, do that, and you know, you're having families come together. So if we are going to talk about marriage from two single people as they continue to figure out, I think, at least in my opinion,
Mhm.
just grow the relationship, give validation and appreciation for it, and then I think it'll all be smooth sailing from there. So that's my thought from hanging out to marriage.
Yeah, that's a pretty wide gamut, I have to say, because okay, don't mind, by the way, don't mind me. I'm like coming off of a really bad allergy attack this weekend.
You're good.
Um
You're all right though.
yeah, my eyes look like I'm trying to audition for a part of a zombie movie of the asshole who is trying to deny the fact they got bit. Like they were really bad over the weekend. But anyway, I digress. I have to I agree with basically everything Matt's saying here because it's taking the little steps. And I say this as somebody who has been engaged, who has holy shit, I want to marry this guy. This is the man. I want to be the father of my children. Um it's you have to look at it from all perspectives. Like a marriage is literally accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly about a person. And you're
Yeah.
just like, you know what? I like them enough. I'm going to put up with that. Like, okay, they fold towels the wrong way, but you know what? I still love them. Or they don't
Exactly.
take out the trash when I ask them to. That's okay. It's like relationships are give and take. And I have to say, it's like jumping that far, like how I said, that gamut, like starting a hanging out to marriage. Like there's so many variables along the way. Like,
Mhm.
as I know, like you love to say, your comfortability with somebody, like that level has to just like grow gradually and it can't be forced. Otherwise, the relationship isn't genuine and then relationships are forced. And obviously, everybody has their own breaking point, and you don't want to hit that breaking point when you have children involved. So I've had like a friend recently who he broke off his engagement with his girlfriend, or excuse me, his ex fiance, and he's going through the motions right now. And it's like, because like obviously, homies, like talking over beers and everything over a fire pit. He admitted that it's like, look, I lost track of like our relationship. Like I didn't take advantage of like the time I had with her because he's a first responder, so he wasn't at home. So it's a bunch of little things that add up to like a disintegration of a marriage. But before you really even worry about marriage, you need to worry about establishing a good foundation, because if you don't establish a good foundation of a relationship, then everything's just going to crumble. Like I've seen so many things where people have just jumped into things and they don't think about like, oh, I'm going to get to know this person. And admittedly, I've had stupid moments like, fuck it. Like, yeah, I'll like jump into things and realize like, yeah, no, I should not do that like months after the fact, but take the time, don't rush into things. I mean, when you know, I'm not going to deny that at all, but before you can worry about getting married, you need to worry about how comfortable you are with the person. And that in turn goes into being intimate with the person, because there are varying levels of intimacy. You have emotional intimacy where, like, I can tell you, I can count 5 people on my hand that I am willing to talk to about like my feelings, more so my depression and my anxiety. Like 5 people out of like the 7 billion people in this world, out of the small circle I know, 5 people that I'm willing to talk about something so sensitive a subject to me. And that goes into like, okay, hey, I can be physically and like emotionally intimate with somebody, and like, oh, but I can also be physically intimate with somebody, and I can show my love and appreciation that way. So, dear Mike, take marriage off the table. Just think about actually just establishing the relationship and establishing the intimacy aspect in all aspects, because if you don't have that solid foundation, like I basically sound like a broken record at this point. It's like communication, because you have to be able to have those rougher conversations, because those show the truer the truer colors of somebody. Because if you have somebody who's going to skirt responsibility in the situation, or who's always going to like blame you, and you're the one who ends up apologizing for something, it's like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm wasting my time. I'm not appreciated. So why am I here? So, Mike, just worry about landing a girl and worrying about if she deep throats your cock or not. Don't worry about marriage. Like, that's way, way down the line, buddy. Way, way down the line. Oh, and speaking of, okay. Sorry, I got a Snapchat alert from a Tinder boy. That was on that same subject. So moving on.
Yes, everything's gonna flow together, Mike. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
I'm sure there'll be a day where you know you're in love, because nothing matters, and nothing matters on your phone while hanging out with them.
Mm-mm.
Nothing matters in your life or what you worry about the stress. You're just happy to be in the presence of who you're with, and there will be a day where that he, she, or them will provide that for you.
And let's
What's
go.
next?
We have Chris asking, been dating this girl for a month, was wondering what other dates I can take her to as we grow our relationship. I think that piggybacks off of Mikey's question at the beginning, the first one, because as you grow your relationship, you get to know the person, learn their likes and dislikes. So some people are totally okay with like dinner and a movie, or some people just want to go to a walking date, a coffee date, a milkshake date. By the way, I'm totally stealing your milkshake line with the Tinder guy I've been talking to. Totally going to do it.
You have to tell us how that works out.
we'll see. We'll see. It was that adorable 25-year-old that I told you about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one that
cutie.
Oh, like he's cute, yeah. I mean, we'll see if he goes to handsome like real fast.
Oh,
cute from now. He looks innocent, but
that's a badass quote.
Transition, yeah.
I like that. If you go from cute to handsome. So if any
like,
guy is called,
sir.
if any guy is called handsome rather than cute, they have a better opinion being told about them.
I've noticed that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've noticed that with my female friends, that when there's like, oh, he's cute, and they're obviously like fuck, like fuck, I can't find any
the cheeks.
Like, oh, he's cute. Like, I can't find any good like photos of him. Oh, I promise he's cute or whatever. Like, he's handsome, and then you can be like confidently like, here he is. Like, also here's my handsome boy.
Ooh,
Manny.
Can't disappoint.
Oh no.
I have a funny thing to say after your point.
Do it.
You know, here's how I think the goal when you know you got the juice and you're attracted. Do you know who the singer Barry White is?
Mm-hmm.
Barry White. Like he was the original Weekend. If the best way to compare him, he was like the Weekend.
That's so fucking true, though.
Like he was so suave. I mean, just a powerful, sexy voice. Such a great singer. And this dude, he was a big man. He was like 350 pounds. He just had the
like
swagger. And you know me, I'm obviously a pop culture freak. I mean, look at my wall. It was pop culture and sports, right? And I don't know why. It was just I was working at Kohl's and I asked this associate olders, like I was just naming famous singers. I said, "What do you think of Barry White?" And she just goes, "Now Barry White's sexy." That's the goal a guy has to get. At least it goes from a girl to fall for a guy like that, or it works for any person really. Doesn't matter the orientation. I should make that clear. Doesn't matter the orientation, but if you get someone like, yeah, they're sexy. That's how you know.
But to counter that, though, some guys will just automatically say like, "Oh, she's so sexy, she's so hot," and it doesn't hold the same weight as it would be from like a woman talking about a man. And then even though like there are some women who are like, "Holy shit, he's sexy," and is it meaning it in like a complimentary? Well, it's still complimentary, but not to the same high of a degree as I was mentioning with the whole like cute versus handsome, like the mentioning cute to handsome thing. So, but sorry, Chris, we digress there. But to truly answer your question, just go places that you guys want to go to together. And like,
there's no such thing as a bad date when you're hanging out with each other, right?
Well, it could be.
I mean, well, to hang out with somebody you genuinely like and care about, you guys you all can hang out in like,
doing like stupid shit together, like
in an abandoned house. You'll be happy.
Look, I would love to go to like abandoned like insane asylum or something with somebody. Like that would be awesome to do. But like, for example, with one of my exes who I was super serious with, we would consider like doing like Costco and like grocery runs together, spending time together.
And that's like, what I'm saying. Any idea is a good idea in this situation.
Especially when you come out like in the middle aisle, be like, "Hey, look." And you can just see the why did I go out in public with this person face. But that's the real thing that I have to say, Chris. It's just read your situation, read your partner, and ask them things that they want to do. And as something like this is something I've noticed on TikTok or whatever, where got girls commenting on like, "Oh, when he's asked what do you want to do," versus like, "Hey, I have a date planned for us." Like, don't be afraid to like have that spontaneity and take like charge and everything, and like, oh shit, like I want to plan like X, Y, and Z. I'll pick her up, maybe get her flowers, go to dinner, do X, Y, and Z. It's a lot of women will appreciate that initiative, because having a guy ask, "What do you want to do tonight?" is the same frustration level that men feel when they ask, "What do you want to do for dinner?" Like, what do you want to eat, more accurately? So that's what I say.
Everyone wants to feel special. Put the effort to make them know they are special, and put that in with the various ideas you can go out and do, because you will make it work no matter what. As long as you're happy in each other's presence, things will work out. What are some of your favorite just random dates you've gone to? Like, I love going Yankee games dates. I only take girls on a Yankee game if like we're a thing, pretty much. I've never done the random go to a game, because I mean, I love every single game I go to, whether Knicks, Rangers, Yankees, or Giants, and I do not want, I could take a loss, but I don't want a bad, awkward moment at a game.
Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend who, he and I were pretty serious to the point that our first date was a Yankees Red Sox game. This was the ex-boyfriend who, as a delayed Valentine's Day present, I got him opening day tickets 2018, aka when the Yankees got snowed out on fucking opening day. I'm like, I'm still like, what the hell? But it was a good omen that year, because 2018 was a good year for the Red Sox. It's, let's see, the Yankees game, Yankees Red Sox games. I've been to like Rangers Islanders games. I've done random trips out east on Long Island. Or even like I had my okay, for example, just and these sort of things can be even just platonic. My best friend asked me like, "Hey, what do you think about Van Gogh?" And it's one of my favorite like painters of all time because when I got to see Starry Night at the MoMA, I was like, "Be still my heart."
What a moment.
And I asked, yeah, it was so special for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked because I'd seen something like on like adverts and everything asking about like an immersive like Van Gogh thing. I'm like, hey, are you asking because of this? And he's like, yeah. So the fact that my best friend was just like essentially a best friend date, like, hey, we're gonna hang out and not just like hang out at home or go grab food. Like we're going to go have, as he and I called, a Sunday fun day where we go into the city. I go to mass because I'm the world's worst like Catholic girl. He's atheist, so it's even more hilarious. Go to mass at St. Patrick's and then go be heathens afterwards. Go drinking, do whatever. So, look, plan dates, even if it's just like with your friends. Be like, hey man, like I'm gonna pick you up at 7. We're gonna go to, and not tell him anything. Be like, yeah, we're gonna go to the bar and drink and watch the game. That sort of thing.
Just do it, especially
just do it.
Especially now as the world gets back to normal. Just do it. What do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah, because I can tell you flat out right now, as like from a friend level, when you have somebody reach out, be like, hey, I want to do this. Do you want to join? And because obviously you and I both know the funk, because you know I've talked about this, like the funks, like the emotional, like mental funks people have gotten into because over the pandemic, not being able to go out, socialize, and everything else like that. So offering to hang out with somebody in public will mean more than you know when you do it. They may not verbalize it, but just know a lot of the time it helps more than you can think.
So. Absolutely. Probably one of my favorite dates too is one of my exes, our second date right after during Christmas holiday. Well, after Christmas. Our first date was Christmas Eve. It was great. And right.
What did you do on Christmas Eve? Like everything was closed.
We went to the deli. So this is how we went to a deli in our hometown. Okay. And it was excellent. I remember the potato cones. And then there was a bar in this shopping center where the deli is open, and we just walked in, get drinks. Oh, I was so smooth, Kailen. Oh God, I'm gonna tell the story. So
like butter?
Nothing. So like what happened was, so obviously I'm Italian, and one of the traditions we do is the Christmas, whether the cookies or you create, my grandma's gonna be pissed. I can't think of the name of the Italian. It's pretty much funnel cake, but not really.
Cannolis?
Not cannolis. Ribbons, Italian ribbons. Italian ribbons. Yeah. Like it's pretty much funnel cake. They were a funnel cake. It is a funnel cake, but more formal. And I don't know why, but I felt like I'm going to bring these funnel cakes. I'm going to bring these ribbons. And after hanging out at this deli, then going to the bar next door on Christmas Eve afternoon, I bring these ribbons that I felt I'm going to give these to her, whether it works out or not.
Aww.
She did. And she accepted them and shared a nice moment after that. It was great. And
that's horrible.
And then the ribbons worked. I haven't seen the ribbons since because that's 2018 into 2019. 2019 we just didn't do it for whatever reason. And I was dating someone else at the time, but it was really sweet before she had to go back to school. And but anyways, our second date was great. Went to the bowling alley, and I really didn't mean to lose. I genuinely was trying to beat her. I swear to God, everyone thinks I'm lying.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not trying to lose, and I lost. She beat me. I was really bad. Now, if it was the what are those things? The stoppers you put up?
The guards for kids.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care. I'll play with that. And I'm so good at bowling after that. Oh, I must have had like 9 gutter balls. And I really was trying specifically hard to beat her. But I lost, but it worked out anyways.
You're a winner.
Don't people want independence? What am I going to give them?
I would love to do like a bowling day and be like, okay, let's get a couple pitchers of beer and like we'll just like
exactly.
bowl. because you can
Exactly.
talk. It's like it's casual. You can shit
And then
talk each other.
then we played laser tag on the side, or the
Okay, like
shooting
look, if
back.
a
It was
guy
the arcade and stuff. It was
okay,
sweet.
look, if a guy invites me to go fucking laser tag, like I'd be like, okay, we're doing this. Don't disappoint me. You're gonna get me really excited because fucking laser tag. Who like you know what? I'm gonna look into laser tag places on Long Island, and I'm doing it. I'm going to invite before Shot of Reality 4. I will have gone on a laser tag date with the guy from Tinder, and I will let you know what
please
happens.
review. Like I said, and then the bowling. Like I said, is he gonna actually? Do you want him to let you win, or?
Oh, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah. See,
Like no, if he's gonna kick my ass, then kick my ass. Like,
what could I say? The gutter balls are cheat. It was all cheat.
Okay. A very likely story, kind sir. A very likely story. But all right. So we have Mr. Pumpkin. Okay. I like if there's one thing I love from like these alias names, it's like we have obviously Jack Black Fun. We have Mr. Pumpkin. And I have a special question saved for you last because fun fact, guys, I never talk about the questions beforehand with Matt.
No.
And so I have a special one saved for you.
Please.
So Mr. Pumpkin asks, been talking to this girl for a few weeks. She seemed so enthusiastic at first, and then all of a sudden the enthusiasm went away. She doesn't use emojis or she doesn't use emojis anymore and doesn't seem interested. Should I dip and stop talking to her, or do usually people show less enthusiasm before they meet up? I want to hear what your comment is first.
It really is tricky. Like the last girl I really dated was the one exception that really didn't show any enthusiasm before meeting with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was pretty platonic, but dated for a while despite that.
Yeah.
So if you asked me before I dated her, I would say, yeah, man, I think sometimes just some sparks die out. Maybe she had some another option and she just likes this other option more.
Yeah.
Which I think happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And like I would honestly say probably, it's momentum is big, but I also have had the opposite of people who seem more introverted, yet before you know it, but
stuff.
And like it's really weird. I do think that's some kind of a red flag if someone is giving you smiley faces one day, is showing how excited they are to talk to you, and then they're just meh, hey, what's up?
And then the conversation slowly tapers off.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Kailen, I actually think see who else is giving you more of that enthusiasm, and to be honest, and that's just a good enough reason for me. Like, hey, what happened? It's like you didn't seem that interested anymore. So
yeah,
I think there's plenty of fish in the sea, and if somebody doesn't seem interested anymore, well, they're lost on you. And that's another thing you have to keep in mind is the momentum up. Some people can talk for a whole month without meeting up, but they still care enough to talk to each other, and maybe they FaceTime and put that extra effort for not that face-to-face interaction. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah, see what else is out there. If she cares enough, she'll let you know. So that's what I say. See what else is out there.
I take basically the same mentality when it comes to things because, for example, recently there was a guy who works in the city who he and I were like basically talking every day. Mm-hmm. And he even he'd send me texts like, hey, I'm busy at work or whatever, because he would the first part of the first week of knowing each other, he didn't really text me on the days that he worked. And I'm like, that's fine, because it's I don't expect people to be on their phones 24/7. We have lives outside of them. And then I told him yeah, no, don't feel pressured to text me or whatever. I'm just some random Tinder girl. I don't need your love, time, and devotion 24/7. You have a fucking life. And he and I we were basically talking every day, and he even started texting me while he was at work, and then he doesn't text me for a week. And I'm the last person to be oh my god, text a guy repeatedly. Mm-hmm. I'd pay attention to the signs, okay, he's not sending smiley faces, he's not texting me as often, so I'm just gonna kind of slowly taper off and back away, because I don't want to be clingy, I don't want to be that crazy girl. So I definitely support the decision about dipping and like backing away, but also I've recently been in a different situation where I was like that, and a guy that I had hooked up with like once or twice, and he and I went from like talking every day, sending each other memes and everything, because as we all know, sending memes is the new version of flirting as an adult. It's like, okay, sending memes is like,
I agree. I completely agree.
showing the cool rock on the playground to your friends at recess in elementary school. That's
Make
exactly
sure
what
it's
it
good
is.
ones too.
Exactly. Quality. Like one of these days I'll have to like give you my meme collection. But
use these memes to gain more interest.
Yeah, basically. Like one of my go-to memes, hold on, is, let's go to favorites. It's her, I want to be on top tonight. Me, fuck off, the bunk beds were my idea. And then there's, maybe if I dress up as a PlayStation controller, he'll throw me against the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was hilarious. And then hold on. If you want to date me, you also have to date drunk me, and that's the real challenge. And then
as
the
you said, the good bag and the ugly, the good bad and the ugly.
And the ugly, yeah. But I'm sorry, if somebody's gonna be a shit show while they're drunk, I'm be like, look, gotta slow it down. And then the final go-to one is, okay, do we want wholesome or spicy?
Spicy.
All right, here we have when you make him angry on purpose, so he'll choke you with both hands during sex.
Like, talk about spicy.
Yeah, it's like that face. Oh yeah. So when you taper off from like sending constant memes and everything to like no communication, it's, if it looks like a duck and talks and walks like a duck, it probably is a duck. But I talked with the guy and I said, no, you just seemed like you weren't interested anymore. So I backed away because, as I told you when we first met, I'm not the clingy type. And he's like, no, that's entirely not it. I thought you weren't interested anymore. So I backed off. So I can see why backing off would be a good idea, because you don't want to have that embarrassment, but also be safer than sorry. Like you can say like text her, and if she doesn't respond, or if she gives some half-hearted response and seems like she doesn't care, then move the fuck on. Like you don't want to waste your time with somebody who doesn't care, even if it's just like friends, relationship, like hookup wise, or actual relationship, and especially actual relationship, because if somebody's not going to give you the time of day or common courtesy to let you know, hey, something's going on, then why are you there? Like I was the same way with my ex-boyfriend, the last guy I seriously dated, and I was like, you couldn't even fucking communicate with me when when he and I agreed like communication is fucking crucial. So like I was like, deuces, I'm out. Like I gave him one shot to like redeem himself, and he pulled the same bullshit, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. That's why I'm just using him for his dick right now, because I can't get close to him anymore. Like I trust him about as far as I can throw him. He's a wonderful guy. I love him to bits as a friend, but emotionally, fuck that guy.
Somebody will be happy about your presence, texting you, no matter what. So don't sweat it. I think that's one big theme that me and Kailen has for the first three and the ones moving on is don't sweat what this life's given us, especially how crazy it is. It will come together. Some people find it sooner than others, but when it happens, you will not recognize or notice that long time it took, or whenever the right time it was supposed to happen. So be happy, be appreciative. And again, that's probably my biggest flaw while dating, was not having the time, like letting a busy life get the best of me, and instead focus on the important things. And for the rest of my life now in dating, I can now truly focus on that. You know, if something we agree upon, something more casual, I can focus on that too and give that validation. Or obviously friends and family. It's gonna be okay. It's all gonna be all right. Just remember to give that appreciation and validation as well. And people will like that.
Yeah, I can say that from an aspect on both sides, like having somebody take the initiative to show their appreciation, and to also do that for somebody and to see their appreciation. Because it could be a simple thing as, so like you're going over to your girlfriend's house and you have to stop to get gas, and you pick up her favorite candy bar without her saying anything. It's like, oh, I want this. Like it's just like the whole little I'm thinking of you present. It doesn't have to be flowers, but it could just be something as small as that, and they're like, okay, they notice me, I feel appreciated. And a lot of the times, to piggyback off of that, people who have anxiety won't talk about it, and they think like, oh fuck, what if like maybe they don't love me or whatever. And then you have somebody doing something as silly as like, okay, my best friend, he's Korean, he was in Queens over the weekend with his family, and there's a particular drink that I can only get when I'm out in Queens, and he gave it to me. Like he brought me like 2 big bottles, and I'm just like, So it's the little shows of appreciation go longer and farther than you think, in my opinion, at least.
I think people have to remember that, especially if you make a great point. They really do matter. Maybe people not initially say, oh my God, thank you for everything, gonna give you $1,000. People may not remember what you say or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And if you give that appreciation and validation, nothing beats it, and it's priceless. It's the best feeling you can give someone. So be sure to do that beyond this podcast, beyond the day after this podcast. Oh, I'll go show appreciation. Do it for the rest of your life. And God knows I'll be working on that for the rest of my life too.
Yeah. It's honestly like, even just showing that little bit to strangers, like giving a daily compliment to somebody. You don't know how like that could like make or break their day. They could be having the world's shittiest day. Like, hey, like, okay, for example, I was getting lunch while I was out at work, and this girl, like, I loved her nails, like the design on them were fucking fantastic. And I was like, hey, I really like your nails. Where'd you get them done at? And she was like all kind of downtrodden, and then she's like perked up, like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy to talk about them sort of attitude. So it's like, oh, hey, I like your shoes, or I like your hat, or a little bit earlier in the pandemic, I really like your mask, because like some of the designs that were coming out of masks, I'm just like,
some people really went all out.
I was like, that is not practical at all, but I like the design. So it's just, here's your homework until the next shot of reality, kids. Give a daily compliment to somebody and actually mean it. But
yes, actually mean it.
We have the final question. Are you ready for this one? Are you sitting down?
Let's bring it on.
All right, so from Secret Admirer, we have, why is Matt so cute? How do I get him to notice me? Smiley face. You sent this in for yourself. I'm calling it now. Like this, how you mentioned typing out the smiley. This one's from you.
I swear on everything.
Do you swear on the Yankees? Do you swear on the Yankees possibly winning the World Series this year?
I swear on the New York Yankees that I did not make that submission. I swear on the Knicks. I swear on the Rangers. I swear on this microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay. I take that back then, because I know how you love your microphone. So I know you're legitimate right now.
Yes. If I was that full of myself, I would just put from Matt. I might just do that for the next time.
Oh, yeah. For kicks and giggles. Yeah. Oh, for next time. I hear your words.
Well.
So, okay. Why is Matt so cute? Why are you so cute?
I don't know. When your mom when both your parents are biracial, and you have the best of all these worlds coming together, I think it genetically helps, I will say.
Yeah.
I mean, by everything I say from this answer, I'm not that full of myself. I'm just answering the question of what I think. Any other people can say whatever. I don't know. Why am I saying? I'm just myself. I think the best part of me is just being Matt Brown. That I think, especially after the pandemic, I really realized that more than ever. It was really started like 2017 was the first year I felt like, damn, I love being alive. I love being myself. And that's when I lost weight and all that. And I would say I just being myself. And that's what I talk with anyone I'm talking to. I'm just in my job interviews. I just say, like, you see is what you get. And I'm just happy and comfortable in my skin. And if that means anything, that's probably the most important part. Why am I myself? Because I'm comfortable in my own skin. And that took a long, even though I'm a very young person, but in the short life I've lived already, that really assured that I'm just happy in my own skin. That's what I have to say. And if whoever that person is, hit me up at MattBrown31 on Twitter, at MattBrown300 on Instagram. My phone number is we can wait for that.
Oh no, I'll just give that one out to them. Like you can DM me and I'll play Wing Woman.
Yes,
So
just know everything before you have to
DM
go
me
through
on
Kailen.
Instagram.
You could also go to Kailen as the person who will make things make sense too.
You know
So
what? If this is legitimate and like this person lives in New York, like I will set up a blind date for the both of you. Homie, don't even care. Like, please let this be real so I can make
please,
this happen just
I'm
before
just
like this ridiculous.
it's probably my friend Brad who wrote that, honestly.
But how does somebody get you to notice them?
How does somebody for me to get to notice them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad I get to talk about this with you, Kailen, because
Why me of all people?
because I think you'd really understand what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I used to be the absolute worst at getting signs. If I understood the signs in my life, Kailen, we would have a whole different perspective. Life would be so different if I understood the signs. You know, there was this clip, and I never, you like Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Favorite show. It's my absolute favorite show in this world. Do you remember the clip where Larry talked about when he played strip poker for the first time with a girl?
I think so. I'll have to pull it up on YouTube later to make sure I really understand it.
I'll send you the clip. But long story short, this was the first time he was with a girl in his whole life.
Okay.
And pretty much it just failed. The dad walks in, everyone's embarrassed.
No.
He's just like done. And he says, the story is from a therapy session. He was like, listen, doc, if things worked out that night, my whole life would be different. And I knew exactly what he meant. So I bring this up because I bring this up because, well, I think the best way to notice me, for me to notice you, if you bring legit eye contact, if you bring legit eye contact and show your genuine interests, and, you know, not like our previous listener said, and, you know, it just died out. If you just show your interests, I'm a very open person to get to know you. And if whether we meet at the bar, like we don't have to do the first FaceTime date, which I do now with everyone. I prefer to do a FaceTime before I meet you in person. And I guess the best way to show your interest is just show your effort into it, whether it's saying hi to me, because probably if we're in the right setting at a bar, I'll probably, if I think you're attractive too, I'll flirt with you back. And well, obviously no pressure, taking it slow. Like when I see you, I'm not someone, okay, how do we get back to my place now with her visiting so we can watch TV and more? I'm not thinking that right away. I'm really not. I'm a very patient person. So if you just show the eye contact, and if you just say hello, like one of my things, I don't do this as much as I like to. Even if I like to wave to people. That's what I used to do at the bars. If someone's looking at me, I will legit wave to them. And if they wave back, I say, hey, how about what's taking this bartender so long? Just help me out. Basically, to answer your question, help me out. Show that you want to at least talk to me. We're not getting married. We're not, boning right away. We're just getting to know each other. That happens to have attraction. And there, as somebody I mentioned my biggest flaw in dating, why I'm single, I will, what I've experienced now, I will show that appreciation, give the effort, and I want to learn and grow with you. So just help me out. And like, I'm really not trying to, play rom-com. That's just my genuine answer. Yeah. If you just help me out to also show your interest, because I've let things go past my head, I will definitely give the most effort in it and treat you like the only person in the room, especially if I meet you in person. And that's and I say this from someone who did not date till way later in his youth. And someone.
When did you start dating?
Not till like 22.
Okay.
Not even like there's the joke. Like I was the president of a fraternity and a party fraternity that was friends with everyone, and nothing. I was a virgin the entire time. And I was a sophomore too, Kailen. That's part of the thing, man. If I knew what was going on, it'd be a whole different world. But, that naiveness happened then, and it's grown me into a more appreciative and more patient, respectful person, I feel. So just help me out, show your interest, and I will. If I know that you're down to give me attention, I will not take it for granted and say what's
so you're a cat.
If that's a bad thing or good thing, I guess I'm a cat.
It's both.
I'm a cool cat. I'm big cat. I'm Matt Brown. Matt Bunny. Someone said, someone just gave me that one. That's starting to see if that my buddy word for word Pockets Vulture. I have to have you guys collaborate with Doloren and Bars.
God.
They call me Matt Bunny.
Okay, much like Fetch and Mean Girls, I don't think Matt Bunny is going to happen. I don't want to break your heart.
That's fine. I already got plenty of other people call my first to last name and other things, but that's just the one that made me the most chuckled. But it's fine. It's fine. All I care about at this point, when back to your question, is just just help me out and say what's up and DM, and I'm not going to screenshot you. I'll make clear. I'm not going to screenshot you and show you to my boys. Like, oh, look at this. He must like me. Or I'm a much more patient, someone who appreciates the people they're dating now, because that was, like I said,
you've grown as a human being.
And there's still a lot more to do. There's still a lot more growing. Not growing. I'm going to stop growing until it's my last breath. So I have a lot to continue to learn. So just say what's up. Show that you just you just have an interest. And I will do the same. No pressure. And I will definitely appreciate your smile.
And there we have it. Those are all the questions we have for this episode.
Oh, man. Well,
I mean, do you have one?
Do I have anyone left?
Do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you know who wrote that?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you. If I knew, actually.
Oh, man. Yeah. No questions today. Just enjoying the presence. But like I said, Kailen, thank you so much. The great Kailen Williams. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Of course, anytime.
We'll see you again in June for this. And please have your report on how your bowling date went.
No, not bowling.
Oh, sorry. Laser tag.
Milkshake. Laser tag milkshake.
There's definitely some place.
We're going to go for a L&M date. And actually, hold on. I'll send it right now. Or actually, yep. Sent. We're doing it. Laser tag milkshake.
You have to send me the response after that.
Of course. Homies help homies. You guys know the drill. If you have any other questions, just fill in the form and the link of the Google Drive, and Matt and I will discuss it next time. And stay safe, guys.
Exactly. Go to the episode description below to check out the Google form for the next shot of reality as we recorded June, or go to our link tree, which is on the Productive Conversations Instagram page, which is at Productive Conversations Podcast. And it's also on our Twitter at ProdConvoPod, as well as our episode description. Kailen Williams, you're the best. I love you. I'll see you very soon. And I can't wait to do this again. Baby. Yes, I will be sending you the schedule right after this, so we'll definitely plan that out.
It's in June. I already have it memorized. Don't worry. We have 3 series against each other,
and we know who's going on top.
Barty, start final point. Whoever win Red Sox Yankees game that you and I go to, loser has to wear. We'll go again. Loser has to wear an opposing team's jersey.
I'm down, and we have this on record.
Shaking.
And I will not edit this part out, of course.
Of course.
And where do we wear this?
Yankee Stadium, of course.
So if we lose the first game, the second game, you have to go in the opposing jerseys.
Yeah, so basically, when the Yankees lose, you're gonna have to go to Yankee Stadium in a Red Sox jersey.
That day will not happen because we winning that shit. I can't wait.
Okay.
When you get a Garrett Cole day, I'll be seeing you leaving the place. Damn, I gotta go to buy it. $150 authentic jersey. Who's your most hated Yankee too? It has to be that. We have to do a most hated. We'll get you a nice number 13. You could throw it out after the fact. I'll take it.
Hey, I bought my ex-boyfriend a A-Rod jersey. Or not A-Rod, excuse me. Actually, no, it was an Aaron Judge jersey. And believe it or not, there is footage of me in an Aaron Judge jersey singing along to New York, New York.
Well, let's repeat that again with A-Rod, who just lost J-Lo.
You know what? And J-Lo's coming back to the fucking Red Sox because she's going back with Ben.
Let me tell you something. That is the case. She is not a true New Yorker. I should have said Jenny from the block. If she's rocking the Red Sox stuff, she can't do that.
You know what? Jenny from the block doesn't give a shit.
the famous 2003 ALCS, which is the famous Don Zimmer throw to the ground by Pedro game. They were at that game. You could see her. She is rocking the Yankees, to be fair, but you see Ben Affleck there. She can't do that. It is kind of funny though how that happened, huh? Apparently these love letters are happening towards the end of their relationship too. Like, my God, he got straight up cooked by Ben Affleck.
Yeah. And
I have to say though, you know who's my Ana de Armas? That's my true celebrity crush in this world.
Oof.
That is some company to go from her to her. I guess some people have the juice.
Not bad.
But then that girl who curved him at Riot, dude.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Ben Affleck said, I genuinely love his films a lot, and I think he's really talented. He's just, he's just a funny person to see, and he's actually a good Batman too.
I actually have not seen any of his Batman movies.
He's the only good part in it.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, because I won't see like Superman at all. I refuse to.
Would you hang out with like a fantasy? What if you had this macho guy and he's just dressed as Superman and does the music and everything? Or what if it was Henry Cavill, who is Superman?
Oh, I don't know. Like, because I'd love to like play video games with Henry Cavill, to be honest.
To play The Witcher?
Yeah. Well, no, not just The Witcher, but like he actually, I think it was The Witcher. He missed the original call from his
agent?
From his agent because he was playing WoW.
And hey, he still got the role anyways.
Exactly. I'm actually looking forward to season 2. But anyways, we digress. We're going down the social media and like let's see, media just rabbit hole in general together. But you guys know the drill. Stay safe. Give us questions. Help me give Matt shit because Yankees suck. But
well, as we return to here to talk about the Yankee Red Sox debacle with the Red Sox losing at the beginning of their season, we will sure see who the best man or woman in this situation is. So let's go Yankees. And
let's go Red Sox.
Okay. We'll just have to say at the same time so no one's the last laughed. But anyways, Kailen Williams, thank you so much for another great episode. We'll see you again next month. That's the great Kailen Williams, everybody. We'll see you very soon.